Good morning, everybody. This is Gleason with MajorLeagueTrading.com coming at you with your morning trade plan. It is January 29th, 2019, Tuesday here, guys. Let's see, we got 2 days left of the month. Thursday will be the last trading day of the first month of the year. We got 1 month down, been a lot of volatility. Economic reports before the bell here this morning. We had 9 a.m. composite HPI, but as a reminder, the big news events Wednesday, FOMC, there is not any anticipated announcement. For our trend biases of the prior day, bearish ES, Nasdaq, Dow, and Russell. Neutral in the overnight session across all four indexes. On the shorter term time frame, we're neutral as well. 5 to 10 day period. And on the midterm time frame, we are bullish in the S&P, Nasdaq, Dow, and Russell. And on the longer term time frame, the ES is bullish, Nasdaq is neutral, the Dow is bullish, and so is the Russell is neutral. Moving on now to our previous day's summary for the S&P 500 in our grid here, our MLT grid, down at 26.22 quarter. Settlement was 26.42. Value area high 26.39 quarter. Value area low. R4A is going to be up at 26.84. R3 comes in at 26.70 half. R2 26.56.75. R1 26.49 half. The pivot point for the day comes in at 26.35.75. S1 26.28 half. S2 26.14.75 and S3 26.07 half. S4A 2600. For our 10-day range analysis, the previous day 21 points, guys. Our median's been 25.5. The entire session was 41.25. Overnight 27. First hour 12.5. So, you know, right in with what we've been seeing. The strongest market of the prior day was the Russell. The weakest was the Nasdaq. Over a 5-day period, all of the markets are down, and we have the same thing. Relative strength Russell, weakness Nasdaq. 10-day period, the Dow leads. Dow leads on a 10-day period, in the Nasdaq lags. Let's go ahead and now take a look here at these markets. So I'll start off with gold just because we've had a pretty big profit target hit. Talked about this target. We really started looking at it going back to the 21st. Now we spent a few days here consolidating in gold, and we have just blown through this 13.13 profit target here. That was a really quick move that began Friday, very aggressive. And as soon as that breakout happened, guys, we got through highs of the year. Fast completion. We're going to be looking at the extension to extension sequence now. The extension to extension sequence in gold. I believe we also had a futures rollover here. So now we're in the April contract. But the extension to the extension, extension to extension brings us into 13.10 half on the 38% retracement. So 13.10 half is going to be the first level of support that I'm going to anticipate here for a potential entry into the long trend in GC. But I believe we'll probably start making our way up to the negative 61 at 13.34. And if you really look at the daily chart here, guys, we're probably going back to the top of this range. I mean, you know, this is when you can start looking like we got quite a it's been a long time since we've had a this aggressive of a move in gold. And gold on this higher, this is a massive wedge. I mean, people have been anticipating this wedge to break out for years. Literally, we have not been able to break above, call it 1370, since 2014. So that's, you know, going back 5 years. It's still a ways away, you know, it's still 50 points away before we get through those resistances. But if we do, gold could really be, you know, a big mover in 2019 if we can clear through that. We have some time, but sometimes I just like looking at that bigger picture here. This is a really strong move in gold, and I'm going to continue to stay pretty focused on it. Let's move down to the S&P 500. We're going to rotate to the hourly chart, talk about the extension here in the S&P. So the extension is from the high of the 28th to high, the 38% retracement traded initially on the 22nd. We tested again on the 23rd. Yesterday, we didn't quite get down to those levels. We came back to the bottom of the range. And there were sellers aggressively in the morning. Going into the close, guys, we were looking at these extension shorts. The extension shorts have technically broken. So we traded those at the close. We sold off to the opposing 61.8. 26.41s gave over 10 points. So even though that didn't hit its negative 23, great move off of it. But now that we've broken that 61, technically here today, this halfway back long is going to be valid. Ideally, this is my perfect trade location right now going into the beginning of the day. 26, call it 26.35. It's a leg start on the hourly. Boom, that is a level I always look at for support. It's a full halfway back long after breaking a short sequence. So 26.35 is going to be my laser pointer for the S&P here today that I'm going to be watching. Hopefully we can pull back into those levels. And we do have Apple earnings after the close. So as Perry mentioned in his video, there will probably be some speculation on Apple earnings as far as people taking positions before that. Now with the Russell, you had I'm going to go to a 15-minute chart and get rid of the extended session here. I'm going to show you something that happened near the close. So the Russell traded the most aggressive halfway back long. Let us remember that the Russell is the best performing market over the prior day, the last 5 days. Russell's best performing market. The negative 23% profit target off the halfway back of lows here is 1479. So if we can complete that at the open, I'm going to take that swing low to high. Okay, I'm going to take that swing low to high, but I'm going to wait till the market opens to complete that level. But you can see that's also the prior high of the day. So we would have or should have some resistance up there. And then you guys also something to remember, we have gap fills. Gap fills all in all indexes from last week. Gap fills in all indexes from last week that we need to be aware of above. So Russell, I'm looking for the profit target completion and then the potential next measured move. Moving on to oil, which is ticks away from completing a 52.84 negative 23% profit target off the halfway back. Yesterday we had a 51.64 support zone. That was a much higher time frame support zone. It did dip, but you can see, now that we were out of there, we're up 120 ticks plus off of that support zone. So we were looking at 51.64s. We dipped down there, spent some time, and as soon as we got back above, we're holding these halfway back long sequences. With the completion of the 52.84, that overnight swing low from the European Open to high is going to be a next measured move. It's going to be valid. We are trading 52.84 or 52.82s right now, so a couple more ticks, you can readjust that draw, but right now it's going to be like a 52.38, 52.37 level, assuming we back off that profit target. But that is a valid next measured move and something I am going to be looking forward to potential entry here in oil, and we'll continue to watch that into the market open. Moving on to the Nasdaq, guys. Yesterday we had the 38% retracement as our major support zone. That level was 66.65. That level traded. You spent some time, just getting below it. I always let me go to a 3200 tick chart. Let's just mark up where the bottom ended up being made. Let's see, we ended up bottoming around 66.50, so about 15 points into that support zone. But you can see, there was initial reaction. Buyers came in. What I want to see is, even though we broke this halfway back long here in the overnight session, we also now have, I believe we've broken the extension. Oh, no, wait, where is it? I think the Nasdaq might be the only market to have not broken its extension short. So I am not interested in drawing up the long in the Nasdaq. What I will just continue to pay attention to here in the NQ, and you can expect a little more volatility in the NQ today, I think, obviously because of Apple. I'm just going to watch this level again here. This 66.65 to 66.69, that's going to be the zone that I'm going to watch for longs. This extension short is still in play, and we're right at that resistance level. So the Nasdaq is still in a potential short setup right up here. For the Dow probably had the best, most technical touch of its entry yesterday. The level we were looking at was 24,290. We traded 24,284, so a 6-tick dip, which is nothing. 6-point dip in the Dow. $30 a contract, not much at all. Then in the overnight session, we traded this halfway back long. Once again, just completed profit targets What I'll be looking for here off the open is whatever that high is. I'm going to look at the regular trading hours session only. Whatever that high is, I'm going to draw the halfway back long. So, you know, say it's an equal high. Same thing I'm looking for in the S&P. The low of the prior day to that high, I want to see where that halfway back lines up and then look for a potential trend to the upside. Now, once again, gap fills from Fridays, guys. There's a leg start right here. I'm just going to mark up a couple areas of resistance. We got a leg start at 24,586. You got a gap fill up here, 24,725 zone. For the S&P, the gap fill is going to be 2665 half. So let's be aware of that. And then we got this leg start here at 2651 for resistance. And oil has completed now, so we're going to adjust this drawing. This is a, you know, as long as I'm really going to watch halfway backs with the pinch indicator bright green here, like this 52.43. If we can have that pinch indicator stay bright green and get that pullback, this is probably my favorite trade setup right now. This oil trade setup, and then also this gold trade setup. But yeah, guys, just be aware of those gap fills in all of the indexes as well as where we broke down from. There's definitely some resistance above. We're in more of a, as we talked about this morning, more of a neutral bias. So I wouldn't be looking for full profit targets to be hit here today. There is probably going to be a bigger move of the overnight session or followed up with tomorrow with, because tomorrow we're going to have the Apple earnings will be out. There will be that FOMC event. And then Thursday we'll have Amazon. So a lot of action on the table here today, guys. My go-to market right now for me is going to be oil that I'm going to be paying attention to. And that is going to wrap it up for my morning trade plan here. I will share my levels with the Major League Trading members in the MLT Discord. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. It really just helps kind of boost our rankings, and I really do appreciate it. If you're interested in learning how to trade, check out our website or any of our courses. And remember, guys, when it comes to trading, to pursue with passion, remove self-doubt, and succeed with effort. Everybody have a fantastic Tuesday. Trade safe, and I'll talk to you guys in the MLT Morning Power Hour. Take care.